on their body, wear clean clothes, because we are coming to the temple anyway. We wear clean clothes and decorate ourselves just to please Krishna. It's just not for ourselves. We see people coming in a very, very, like they're gone to the wedding. We see, people like that. It's just to please Krishna, because Krishna is looking at you. Krishna also decorates himself every morning. You see that, so that my devotees will come. I'm gonna give a darshan to my devotees, and let's see. Now today you will be very, very impressed what he is wearing today. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Sri Sri Gaunitai Bhagavan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody, clap your hands. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Govinda, Govinda Govinda. Gopala Gopala, Gopala Gopala. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jayam Vishwapad Paramahansa Parivrakacharya Stotra Siddha Shri Srimad His Divine Grace of Bhashanvindam Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishwapad Paramahansa Parivrakacharya Astotra Siddha Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Ananta Gauri Vaishnavrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhana ki Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Shri Ayodhya Dham ki Shri Nilachala Chandra Dham ki Ganga Jamuna Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki Sri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Shri Shri Gonitai Bhagavan ki Nita Go Premanandi. All glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees, all glorious to Lord Sri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glorious to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastachade Satarine. Sabhi boliye Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much for coming to the Hare Krishna temple. There's no better way to spend your spare time to coming to see Radha Krishna and Sitaram. This will be good for the soul, Atma Kalyan. In a few moments, we'll have some bhajan to Nashingadev, and then there'll be prasadam and some bhojan in the Haveli. You're more than welcome. Very soon, we have the divine appearance of who? Lord Ramachandra Bhagavan ki. We're very fortunate to have Lord Ram with his beautiful wife Sita and his younger brother Lakshman and Hanuman. There'll be big utsav over here on the day and on the following Sunday. So there's going to be nice festival, prasadam, pravachan, drama, a boat ride for Ram in the lake. So please come along, and we will very, very much like to invite you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, I request everyone to sit down, please, for a short Nashingadev prayers. Thank you. It would be nice, everyone sitting down. Thank you. Namaste Narsimhaya. Namaste Narsimhaya. Prahlad Lad Daine. Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha. Shilatankana Thalaye. Ito Nrsimha Parito Nrsimha. Yato Yato Yami Bhago Nrsimha. Bahe Nrsimha Hirdaye Nrsimha. नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमल वरे नखाम अद्भुत नृसिंहा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल वरे नखाम अद्भुत नृसिंहा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय भक्तिवेदांत मनोर धाम की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल
Bandeham
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Bandeham Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanshan Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadaitam Savadhutam Parijana सहितं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुता पदकमलं
बोल जल्दी बोल बोल हरी बोल नहीं बोलता
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्री Vandeham Sri Guru. Jayam Svasaram Svarajacharya Saraswasman Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Hridhar Thakur ki jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Sri Radha Krishna Govinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Girivadan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Swami Bhaktivedanta ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Gyanatimrantasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Karamayam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Shcha Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prishte Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Puchaine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatire Shatarine Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prishte Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhana Videvi Dayitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Mathurojvala Prematya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karana Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudha Pasidhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishwaraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambhode Padam Bhujayate Namah Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Svarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistvam Nirdishta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhoma Shri Jagannatayate Namah Vanchakolpaturubhyascha Kripasundarbhya evacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gorat Vishe Namah Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Svarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surata Pangor Mama Mandamatergati Matsarvasvapadam Bhojao Radha Madana Mohanao Divyadvrindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastao Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devao Prishtali Bisevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasarasarambi Vamshivattatastita Karshan Venusvanar Gopir Gopinata Shriyestuna Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Nrsimha Jaya Jaya Nrsimha Praladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Branga So we are continuing our reading from Krishna book. We're on chapter 29, entitled The Rasa Dance, Introduction. Shukadev Goswami then reminded Parikshit Maharaj about the salvation of Shishupal. Shishupal was always envious of Krishna, and because of his envy, Krishna killed him. But since Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shishupal gained salvation simply by seeing him. If an envious person can get salvation simply by concentrating his mind on Krishna, then what to speak of the gopis who are so dear to Krishna and always think of him in love? There must be some difference between the enemies and the friends. If Krishna's enemies could get freed from material contamination and become one with the Supreme, then certainly his dear friends like the gopis can achieve such freedom and much more. Besides that, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is called Hrishikesha. Shukadeva Goswami also said that Krishna is Hrishikesha, the super soul. Whereas an ordinary man is a conditioned soul covered by the material body, Krishna and Krishna's body are the same because he is Hrishikesha, the master of the senses. Any person making a distinction between Krishna and Krishna's body is fool number one. Krishna is Hrishikesha and Adhokshaja. These two particular words have been used by Shukadeva Goswami in this instance. Hrishikesha is the Supersoul, and Adhokshaja is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, transcendental to the material nature. Just to show favor to the ordinary living entities, out of his causeless mercy he appears as he is. Unfortunately, foolish persons mistake him to be an ordinary person, and so they become eligible to go to hell. Shukadeva Goswami continued to inform Maharaj Parikshit that Krishna is not an ordinary person, but rather the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Imperishable, immeasurable, and without any material qualities, but full of all spiritual qualities. He appears in this material world out of his causeless mercy, and whenever he appears as he is, without change. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says that he appears by his spiritual potency. He does not appear under the control of the material potency. The material potency is under his control. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the material potency is working under his superintendence. It is also confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that the material potency, known as Durga, is acting just like a shadow of the substance. The conclusion is that if one somehow or other becomes attached to Krishna or attracted to him, either because of his qualities of beauty, opulence, fame, strength, renunciation or knowledge, through affection or friendship, or even through lust, anger, or fear, then one's salvation and freedom from material contamination are assured. And so we have to become attached. Somehow or another, we have to become attached to Krishna or attracted to him. We may become attached or attracted to him because of his qualities of beauty, opulence, fame, strength, renunciation, or knowledge. We may become attached or attracted through affection or friendship, or we may become attached to him even through lust, anger, or fear. But somehow or other, we have to become attached to Krishna, and then our salvation and freedom from material contamination are assured. How can you become attached to Krishna unless you have some connection with Krishna? Is there a better way of connecting with Krishna than through hearing about him? Hearing about Krishna certainly gives rise to affection, attraction, attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, the Lord states that one who is engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness is very dear to him. A preacher has to face many difficulties in his struggle to preach pure Krishna consciousness. Sometimes he has to suffer bodily injuries, and sometimes he has to meet death also. All this is taken as a great austerity on behalf of Krishna. Interesting that a preacher may have to suffer bodily injuries or even death in his struggle to preach pure Krishna consciousness. And therefore, such a preacher is dear to the Lord. Krishna therefore has said that such a preacher is very, very dear to him. If Krishna's enemies can expect salvation simply by concentrating their minds on him, then what to speak of persons who are so dear to Krishna? So it's interesting that even though one may be so dear to Krishna, being a preacher of the Lord, being a preacher of the Lord's glories, that does not what's the word? Free one, excuse one, no. That does not relieve one or exempt one from potential bodily injury or even death. A preacher of pure Krishna consciousness may suffer bodily injury or even death. Does that mean that he is not dear to Krishna? No, just the opposite. So, being in a relationship with Krishna is not contingent upon any material condition, nor is any material condition guaranteed as a result of being a devotee. If the Lord wants to save you, what can kill you? And if the Lord wants to finish your term of bodily existence, then what can save you? But the important thing is the relationship of the soul to the Supreme Soul. This is what is protected. The Lord says that my devotee never perishes. Actually, he asks Arjuna to declare it boldly, that my devotee is never vanquished, never perishes. Even if he dies, he does not become degraded. He is given a chance in his next life to make progress on and on. Srila Prabhupada continues, the conclusion should be that the salvation of those who are engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness in the world is guaranteed in all circumstances. Right? Salvation. Not an easier material life. Of course, if Krishna wants to make it easier or better for his devotee, no problem. But the main thing is that what Krishna is giving to his devotees is certain salvation, guaranteed salvation. And pure devotees aren't really even interested in such salvation from material conditions. As far as they're concerned, salvation means to be always engaged in the Lord's service, wherever it may be. In the spiritual world or the material creation, in heaven or in hell. So the conclusion should be that the salvation of those who are engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness in the world is guaranteed in all circumstances. But such preachers never care for salvation, because factually one who is engaged in Krishna consciousness, devotional service, has already achieved salvation. Right? This is salvation, to be engaged in devotional service. Shukadeva Goswami therefore assured King Parikshit that he should always rest assured that one who is attracted by Krishna attains liberation from material bondage, because Krishna is transcendental. Krishna is the transcendental master of all mystic power. When all the gopis assembled, as described, before Krishna, he began to speak to them, welcoming them as well as discouraging them by word jugglery. Krishna is the supreme speaker. He is the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. He can speak on the highest elevated subjects of philosophy, politics, economics, everything. And he also spoke before the gopis, who were so dear to him. He wanted to enchant them by word jugglery, and thus he began to speak as follows. O ladies of Vrindavan, Krishna said, you are very fortunate, and you are very dear to me. I am very pleased that you have come here, and I hope everything is well in Vrindavan. Now please order me, what can I do for you? What is the purpose of your coming here in the dead of night? Kindly take your seats and let me know what I can do for you. The gopis had come to Krishna to enjoy his company, to dance with him, embrace him, and kiss him. And when Krishna began to receive them very officially, showing all kinds of etiquette, they were surprised. He was treating them like ordinary society women. Therefore they began to smile among themselves. And though they very eagerly listened to Krishna talk in that way, they were surprised. Then Krishna began to instruct them. My dear friends, you must know that it is now the dead of night and the forest is very dangerous. At this time, all the ferocious jungle animals, the tigers, bears, jackals, and wolves, are prowling in the forest. Therefore, it is very dangerous for you. You cannot select a secure place now. Everywhere you go, you will find that all these animals are loitering to find their prey. I think, therefore, that you are taking a great risk in coming here in the dead of night. Please turn back immediately without delay. When he saw that they continued to smile, he said, I very much appreciate your bodily features. All of you have very nice, very thin waists. All of the gopis were exquisitely beautiful. They are described by the word sumadhyama. The standard of beauty of a woman is said to be sumadhyama, when the middle portion of the body is slender. Krishna wanted to impress on them that they were not old enough to take care of themselves. Actually, they required protection. It was not very wise for them to come in the dead of night to Krishna. Krishna also indicated that he was young and that they were young girls. It does not look very well for young girls and boys to remain together in the dead of night. After hearing this advice, the gopis did not seem very happy. Therefore, Krishna began to stress the point in a different way. He said as follows, My dear friends, I can understand that you have left your homes without the permission of your guardians. Therefore, I think your mothers, your fathers, your elder brothers, and even your sons, and what to speak of your husbands, must be very anxious to find you. As long as you are here, they must be searching in different places, and their minds must be very agitated. So don't tarry. Please go back and make them peaceful. When the gopis appeared to be a little bit disturbed and angry from hearing the free advice of Krishna, they diverted their attention to looking at the beauty of the forest. At that time, the whole forest was illuminated by the bright shining of the moon, and the air was blowing very silently over the blooming flowers, and the green leaves of the trees were moving in the breeze. Krishna took the opportunity of their looking at the forest to advise them. I think you have come out to see the beautiful Vrindavan forest on this night, he said. But you must now be satisfied. So return to your homes without delay. I understand that you are all very chaste women. So now that you have seen the beautiful atmosphere of the Vrindavan forest, please return home and engage in the faithful service of your respective husbands. Some of you must have babies by this time. although you are very young. You must have left your small babies at home, and they must be crying. Please immediately go back home and just feed them with your breast milk. I can also understand that you have very great affection for me, and out of that transcendental affection you have come here, hearing my playing on the flute. Your feelings of love and affection for me are very appropriate, because I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All living creatures are my parts and parcels, and naturally they are affectionate to me. So this affection for me is very welcome, and I congratulate you for this. Now you can go back to your homes. Another thing I must explain to you is that for a chaste woman, service to the husband without duplicity is the best religious principle. Not only should a woman be faithful and chaste to her husband, but she should also be affectionate to the friends of her husband, obedient to the father and mother of her husband, and affectionate to the younger brothers of her husband. And most importantly, a woman must take care of her children. Excuse me. So Krishna is describing here the standard of chastity for a woman. Service to the husband without duplicity is the best religious principle for a chaste woman. Not only should a woman be faithful and chaste to her husband, but she should also be affectionate to the friends of her husband, obedient to the father and mother of her husband, and affectionate to the younger brothers of her husband. And most importantly, a woman must take care of her children. These ideas might not be very popular in certain quarters of our modern society. However, you cannot duck the laws of nature. There are consequences and reactions for every action, activity, attitude, and the results come accordingly. And it is not decided by any vox populi. It is decided by God. So we can ignore Krishna's advice at our own peril, or we can accept it and feel the benefit. In this way, Krishna explained the duty of a woman. He also stressed the point of serving the husband. Even if he is not of very good character, or even if he is not very rich or fortunate, or even if he is old or invalid on account of continued diseases, whatever her husband's condition, a woman should not divorce her husband if she actually desires to be elevated to the higher planetary systems after leaving this body. Besides that, it is considered abominable in society if a woman is unfaithful and goes searching for another man. Such habits will deter a woman from being elevated to the heavenly planets, and the results of such habits are very degrading. A married woman should not search for a paramour, for this is not sanctioned by the Vedic principles of life. If you think that you are very much attached to me, and you want my association, I advise you not to personally try to enjoy me. It is better for you to go home. Simply talk about me and think of me, and by this process of constantly remembering me and chanting my names, you will surely be elevated to the spiritual platform. There is no need to stand near me. Please go back home. The instruction given herein by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the gopis was not at all sarcastic. Such instructions should be taken very seriously by all honest women. The chastity of women is specifically stressed herein by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, this principle should be followed by any serious woman who wants to be elevated to a higher status of life. Krishna is the center of all affection for all living creatures. When this affection is developed for Krishna, one surpasses and transcends all Vedic injunctions. This was possible for the gopis because they saw Krishna face to face. This is not possible for any woman in the conditioned state. Unfortunately, sometimes a rascal, following the philosophy of monism or oneness, very irresponsibly takes advantage of this Rasalila to imitate the behavior of Krishna with the gopis, entice many innocent women and mislead them in the name of spiritual realization. In other words, you can't pretend to be Krishna and do what Krishna does because, hey, you're not God. As a warning, Lord Krishna has herein hinted that what was possible for the gopis is not possible for ordinary women. Although a woman can actually be elevated by advanced Krishna consciousness, she should not be enticed by an impostor who says that he is Krishna. She should concentrate her devotional activities in chanting about Krishna and meditating upon him, as is advised herein. One should not follow the man called Sahajiyas, the so-called devotees who take everything very lightly. When Krishna spoke in such a discouraging way to the gopis, they became very sad. For they thought that their desire to enjoy the rasa dance with Krishna would be frustrated. Thus they became full of anxiety. Out of great sadness, the gopis began to breathe very heavily. Instead of looking at Krishna face to face, they bowed their heads and looked at the ground. And they began to draw various types of curved lines on the ground with their toes. They were shedding heavy tears, and their cosmetic decorations were being washed from their faces. The water from their eyes mixed with the kumkum on their breasts and fell to the ground. They could not say anything to Krishna, but simply stood there silently. By their silence, they expressed that their hearts were grievously wounded. The gopis were not ordinary women. In essence, they were on an equal level with Krishna. This is real equality, right? Due to their complete surrender, due to their unalloyed love for Krishna, in essence, they were on an equal level with Krishna. They are his eternal associates, as it is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. So, sorry, this is a very, very interesting principle. That what is it that conquers someone who is superior? It is love. A superior person, a powerful person, can become subordinated by love, as Krishna agrees to become by his unalloyed devotees, and in particular the gopis. So we can declare equality or even superiority or supremacy, but actually it's artificial. Ultimately, love conquers all. There's a maxim that's bandied about. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So by force you may subjugate an inferior or weaker party, but if they do not real subjugation means to act in such a way that they voluntarily want to serve you, voluntarily want to love you. That's real leadership. That you act in such a way in your leadership position that those that you're responsible for are actually moved to serve you, moved to obey your direction, moved to render service. Because of their affection, their attraction, their love. Not because they have to do it, because if they don't, you'll be mean and withhold some reward or payment or threaten them. It may work in the material world, but in the material world no one's satisfied. And there's simply competition for supremacy. As soon as your back is turned, the person that is being deferential, they may attempt to usurp your position. As Srila Prabhupada said a little earlier, on the basis of lust, one may serve a master because of what the reward that one is getting. But if that reward is not forthcoming, then one is not interested in service. So, lust is the driving force. But love means that I'm doing this because I want to satisfy you. And I'm not looking for some personal reward. The reward is the service itself. The reward is me loving you. That I'm already rewarded by the love that I am experiencing. That is my reward. The reward is the service itself. So that is love. That is, and ultimately, if that love is for Krishna, then it is spiritual. So, the gopis were not ordinary women. In essence, they were on an equal level with Krishna. They are his eternal associates, and it is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. As it is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. They are expansions of the pleasure potency of Krishna. And as his potency, they are non-different from him. Ekopya saura chaitum jagaranda kotin yachakti rasti jagaranda chayata. Okay. Although they were depressed by the words of Krishna, they did not like to use harsh words against him. Yet they wanted to rebuke Krishna for his unkind words, and therefore they began to speak in faltering voices. Interesting. They were depressed by his words, yet they did not like to use harsh words against him. This tells us a lot about their nature, their character. How many people in this world, when they are upset by the words directed at them, they immediately respond with harshness, sharp words. The gopis did not like to use harsh words against Krishna. Yet they wanted to rebuke Krishna for his unkind words, and therefore they began to speak in faltering voices. They did not like to use harsh words against Krishna because he was their dearmost, their heart and soul. The gopis had only Krishna within their hearts. They were completely surrendered and dedicated souls. Naturally, when they heard such unkind words, they tried to reply, but in the attempt, torrents of tears fell from their eyes. Finally, they managed to speak. Krishna, they said, you are very cruel. You should not talk like that. We are full-fledged, surrendered souls. Please accept us and don't talk in that cruel way. Of course, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and can do whatever you like, but it is not worthy of your position to treat us in such a cruel way. We have come to you, leaving everything behind, just to take shelter of your lotus feet. We know that you are completely independent. We know that you are completely independent and can do whatever you like, but we request you, don't reject us. We are your devotees. You should accept us as Lord Narayana accepts his devotees. There are many devotees of Lord Narayana who worship him for salvation, and he awards them salvation. Similarly, how can you reject us when we have no shelter other than your lotus feet? Oh dear Krishna, they continued, you are the supreme instructor. There is no doubt about it. Your instructions to women to be faithful to their husbands and merciful to their children, to take care of household affairs, and to be obedient to the elderly members of the family are surely just according to the tenets of the Shastras. But we know that one may perfectly observe all these instructions of the Shastras by keeping oneself under the protection of your lotus feet. Our husbands, friends, family members, and children are all dear and pleasing to us only because of your presence, for you are the supersoul of all living creatures. Without your presence, one is worthless. When you leave the body immediately dies, and according to the injunction of the Shastras, a dead body must immediately be thrown into a river or burned. Therefore, ultimately you are the dearmost personality in this world. By placing our faith and love in your personality, we are assured of never being bereft of husband, friends, sons, or daughters. If a woman accepts you as the supreme husband, then she will never be bereft of her husband, as in the bodily concept of life. If we accept you as our ultimate husband, then there is no question of being separated, divorced, or widowed. You are the eternal husband, eternal son, eternal friend, and eternal master, and one who enters into a relationship with you is eternally happy. Since you are the teacher of all religious principles, your lotus feet have to be worshipped first. Accordingly, the Shastras state, Acharya Upasana, the worship of your lotus feet is the first principle. So, Acharya Upasana, worship of the Acharya. So worship of the Acharya is tantamount to worship of the Lord's lotus feet. And the gopis are recommending here that Krishna's lotus feet have to be worshipped first. Besides that, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, you are the only enjoyer, you are the only proprietor, and you are the only friend. As such, we have come to you, leaving aside all so-called friends, society, and love. And now, you have become our enjoyer. Let us be everlastingly enjoyed by you. Be our proprietor, for that is your natural claim. And be our supreme friend, for you are naturally so. Let us thus embrace you as the supreme beloved. So the gopis see themselves as objects for Krishna's enjoyment. They want him to be happy. They want him to enjoy. This is love. Good luck finding someone like this in the material world. It might be possible, but people get very bent out of shape when they don't get what they want. But here the gopis are upset. Not because they're not getting what they want, they're upset because they know Krishna is not getting what he wants. They want to satisfy his senses. They want to love him. They want him to enjoy. They want to be enjoyed by him. Let us be everlastingly enjoyed by you. Be our proprietor, for that is your natural claim, and be our supreme friend, for you are naturally so. Let us thus embrace you as the Supreme Beloved. Then the gopis told lotus-eyed Krishna, please do not discourage our long-cherished desires to have you as our husband. Any intelligent man who cares for his own self-interest reposes all his loving spirit in you. Persons who are simply misled by the external energy, who want to be satisfied by false concepts, try to enjoy themselves apart from you. The so-called husband, friend, son, daughter, father, and mother are all simply sources of material misery. No one is made happy in this material world by having a so-called father, mother, husband, son, daughter, and friend. This is heavy. This is heavy information. It's heavy because we are very much conditioned to be attached to family members and the intimate persons of our community. We're very much strapped in to our relationships in this material world. And so this is heavy information. We're practically being told that all of our material relationships are no good. But there's an important caveat. The gopis are saying that persons who are simply misled by the external energy, who want to be satisfied by false concepts, try to enjoy themselves apart from you. So, if our relationships and our identity is apart from Krishna, then ultimately all of these identities and relationships will be disappointing. But if we make Krishna the center of all our relationships, then those relationships are worthy and redeemable and uplifting and helpful. To associate with Krishna's devotees is the essence of spiritual life. So if our father, mother, children, husband, wife, friends, if they're devotees of Krishna, then such relationships are perfect. And if they're not devotees of Krishna, then ultimately they are an impediment to our eternal well-being. Although the father and mother are expected to protect the children, there are many children who are suffering for want of food and shelter. There are many good physicians, but when a patient dies, no physician can revive him. There are many means of protection, but when one is doomed, none of the protective measures can help. And without your protection, the so-called sources of protection simply become sources of continued distress. We therefore appeal to you, dear Lord of all lords, please do not kill our long-cherished desires to have you as our supreme husband. So in spite of having a nice mother and father, a child may suffer due to want of food and shelter, if that is the child's destiny, karma. In spite of having a very good doctor, the patient may die, and no other doctor can revive the patient. There are many means of protecting ourselves. But if you're doomed, none of the protective measures can help. Not your seatbelt, not your SRS airbag. So many protective measures we may attempt to employ in this material world. But if one is destined to leave the body, none of the protective measures are any good. Because the Lord is the final protector. And the gopis say here that without Krishna's protection, then the so-called sources of protection simply become sources of continued distress. The gopis continue, "Dear Krishna, as women we are certainly satisfied when our hearts are engaged in the activities of family affairs. But our hearts have already been stolen by you. We can no longer engage them in family affairs. Besides that, although you have repeatedly asked us to return home, and that is a very appropriate instruction, unfortunately we have been stunned here. Our legs have no power to move a step from your lotus feet. Therefore, if even at your request we return home, what shall we do there? We have lost all our ability to act without you. Instead of engaging our hearts in family affairs as women, we have now developed a different type of lust which is continually blazing in our hearts. Now we request you, dear Krishna, to extinguish that fire with your beautiful smile and the transcendental vibration emanating from your lips. If you do not agree to do us this favor, we shall certainly be burned in the fire of separation. In that condition, we shall simply think of you and your beautiful features and give up our bodies immediately. In that way, we think it will be possible for us to reside at your lotus feet in the next life. Dear Krishna, if you say that if we go home, our respective husbands will satisfy the lusty flame of our desire, we can only say that that is no longer possible. You have given us a chance to be enjoyed by you in the forest and have touched our breasts once in the past, which we accepted as a blessing, as do the goddesses of fortune, who are enjoyed in the Vaikuntha lokas by you. Since we have tasted this transcendental enjoyment, we are no longer interested in going to anyone but you for the satisfaction of our lust. Dear Krishna, the lotus feet of the goddess of fortune are always worshipped by the demigods. Although she is always resting on your chest in the Vaikuntha planets, she underwent great austerity and penance to have some shelter at your lotus feet, which are always covered by tulasi leaves. Your lotus feet are the proper shelter of your servitors, and the goddess of fortune, instead of abiding on your chest, comes down and worships your lotus feet. We have now placed ourselves under the dust of your feet. Please do not reject us, for we are fully surrendered souls. Dear Krishna, you are known as Hari. You destroy all the miseries of all living entities, specifically of those who have left their homes and family attachment and have completely taken to you. We have left our homes with the hope that we shall completely devote and dedicate our lives to your service. We are simply begging to be engaged as your servants. We do not wish to ask you to accept us as your wives. Simply accept us as your maidservants. Since you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and like to enjoy the Parakya Rasa and are famous as a transcendental woman hunter, we have come to satisfy your transcendental desires. We are also after our own satisfaction, for simply by looking at your smiling face, we have become very lusty. We have come before you decorated with all ornaments and dress. But until you embrace us, all our garments and beautiful features remain incomplete. You are the Supreme Person, and if you complete our dressing attempt as the Purusha Bhushana, or the male ornament, then all our desires and bodily decorations are complete. Dear Krishna, we have simply been captivated by seeing you with tilaka and with earrings, and by seeing your beautiful face covered with scattered hair and bearing your extraordinary smile. Not only that, but we are also attracted by your arms, which always give assurance to the surrendered souls. And although we are also attracted by your chest, which is always embraced by the goddess of fortune, we do not wish to take her position. We shall simply be satisfied by being your maidservants. If you accuse us, however, of encouraging prostitution, then we can only ask, where is that woman within these three worlds who is not captivated by your beauty and the rhythmic songs vibrated by your transcendental flute? Within these three worlds, there is no distinction between man and woman in relation to you, because both man and woman belong to the marginal potency or prakriti. No one is actually the enjoyer or the male. Everyone is meant to be enjoyed by you. There is no woman within these three worlds who cannot but deviate from her path of chastity once she is attracted to you, because your beauty is so sublime that not only man and woman, but also cows, birds, beasts, and even trees, fruits and flowers, everyone and everything become enchanted, and what to speak of ourselves. It is, however, definitely decided that as Lord Vishnu is always protecting the demigods from the onslaught of demons, so you have also advented in Vrindavana just to give the residents protection from all kinds of distress. O dear friend of the distressed, kindly place your hand on our burning breasts as well as on our heads, because we have surrendered unto you as your eternal maidservants. If you think, however, that your lotus-like palms might be burned to ashes if placed on our burning breasts, let us assure you that your palms will feel pleasure instead of pain, as the lotus flower, although very delicate and soft, enjoys the scorching heat of the sun. Upon hearing the anxious plea of the gopis, the Supreme Personality of Godhead smiled, and being very kind to the gopis, the Lord, although self-sufficient, began to embrace them and kiss them as they desired. When Krishna, smiling, looked at the faces of the gopis, the beauty of their faces became 100 times enhanced. When he was enjoying them in their midst, he appeared just like the full moon surrounded by millions of shining stars. Thus the Supreme Personality of Godhead, surrounded by hundreds of gopis and decorated with a flower garland of many colors, began to wander within the Vrindavan forest, sometimes singing to himself and sometimes singing with the gopis. In this way the Lord and the gopis reached the cool, sandy bank of the Yamuna, where there were lilies and lotus flowers. In such a transcendental atmosphere, the gopis and Krishna began to enjoy one another. While they were walking on the bank of the Yamuna, Krishna would sometimes put his arms around a gopi's head, breast, or waist. Pinching one another and joking and looking at one another, they enjoyed. When Krishna touched the bodies of the gopis, their lust to embrace him increased. They all enjoyed these pastimes. Thus the gopis were blessed with all mercy by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for they enjoyed his company without a tinge of mundane sex life. No tinge of mundane sex life. The gopis, however, soon began to feel very proud, thinking themselves to be the most fortunate women in the universe, due to being favored by the company of Krishna. Lord Krishna, who is known as Keshava, could immediately understand their pride caused by their great fortune of enjoying him personally. And in order to show them his causeless mercy and to curb their false pride, he immediately disappeared from the scene, exhibiting his opulence of renunciation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always full with 6 kinds of opulences, and this is an instance of the opulence of renunciation. This renunciation confirms Krishna's total non-attachment. He is always self-sufficient and is not dependent on anything. This is the platform on which his transcendental pastimes are enacted. So as soon as the gopis became proud of their intimate association with the Lord, he vanished. He did not require their association. He's completely self-sufficient. He is entirely capable of giving up the most alluring and addictive thing or person anywhere within creation. Whereas, if we become obsessed with someone or something, we're like, falling all over ourselves. We make a complete fool of ourselves. But Krishna, as soon as he detected that the gopis are a little bit proud, he was out of there. He's gone. He was simply interested in their pure love. That is all. And as soon as he detected some pride, see you later. And thus he displayed his opulence of vairagya, renunciation. He's full with 6 opulences, therefore he is called Bhagavan. He has unlimited beauty, unlimited strength, unlimited wealth, unlimited fame, unlimited knowledge, and unlimited renunciation. He can walk away from anything. He doesn't need anything. We need him. So in just over 5 minutes, I expect the speaker for Bhagavad Gita class will arrive. But let's keep reading, chapter 30. Actually, sorry, we haven't finished the last paragraph. Okay. So the gopis, however, soon began to feel very proud, thinking themselves to be the most fortunate women in the universe, due to being favored by the company of Krishna. Lord Krishna, who is known as Keshava, could immediately understand their pride caused by their great fortune of enjoying him personally. And in order to show them his causeless mercy and to curb their false pride, he immediately disappeared from the scene, exhibiting his opulence of renunciation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always full with 6 kinds of opulences. And this is an instance of the opulence of renunciation. This renunciation confirms Krishna's total non-attachment. He is always self-sufficient and is not dependent on anything. This is the platform on which his transcendental pastimes are enacted. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 29th chapter of Krishna, entitled The Rasa Dance Introduction. It's such a game, isn't it? Anyway, when it comes to male and female affairs in this material world, I'm not going to advertise, but I think there's some book called The Game. People really work hard to figure these things out, right? How to keep the other person interested, how to keep her attracted, how to keep him attracted. When you become needy and you chase, right? You're desperate, then the other person is not finding that attractive. Right? When you pull back and you're a little bit like, you know what? I know who I am, and I'm cool with that. Then you suddenly become interesting and attractive again. It's a very interesting principle of physics. It's just physics, right? Men have to learn how to act according to male characteristics. Male characteristics are steady, centered, dependable, reliable. Chapter 30, Krishna is hiding from the gopis. When Krishna suddenly disappeared from the company of the gopis, they began to search for him everywhere. After not finding him anywhere, they became afraid and almost mad after him. They were simply thinking of the pastimes of Krishna in great love and affection. Being absorbed in thoughts of him, they experienced loss of memory. And with dampened eyes, they began to see the very pastimes of Krishna. His beautiful talks with them, his embracing, kissing, and other activities. Being so attracted to Krishna, they imitated his dancing, his walking, and his smiling, as if they themselves were Krishna. Due to Krishna's absence, they all became crazy. Each one of them told the others that she was Krishna himself. Soon they all assembled together and chanted Krishna's name very loudly as they moved from one part of the forest to another, searching for him. So this is what it means to be in love. You cannot for a moment not think of the beloved. Actually, Krishna is all-pervasive. He is in the sky, and He is in the forest. He is within the heart, and He is always everywhere. The gopis therefore began to question the trees and plants about Krishna. There were various types of big trees and small plants in the forest, and the gopis addressed them. Dear banyan tree, have you seen the son of Maharaj Nanda passing this way, laughing and playing on his flute? He has stolen our hearts and gone away. If you have seen him, kindly inform us which way he has gone. Dear Ashoka tree, dear Naga flower tree, and Champaka flower tree, have you seen the younger brother of Balaram pass this way? He has disappeared because of our pride. The gopis were aware of the reason for Krishna's sudden disappearance. They could understand that when they had been enjoying Krishna, they thought themselves to be the most fortunate women within the universe. And since they were feeling proud, Krishna had disappeared immediately just to curb their pride. Krishna does not like his devotees to be proud of their service to him. Right? This is an important instruction. Krishna does not like his devotees to be proud of their service to him. He accepts everyone's service, but he does not like one devotee to proudly consider himself better than others. If sometimes there are such feelings, Krishna ends them by chanting. If sometimes there are such feelings, Krishna ends them by changing his attitude toward the devotee. So you remain proud of being a devotee for very long. You can't think, hey, I'm a very special, I am holier than thou. Huh? You won't get away with that for very long. Krishna will rectify you. He ends them. He ends those feelings by changing his own attitude toward the devotee. Right? The gopis then addressed the tulasi plants. Dear Tulasi, you are much beloved by Lord Krishna because your leaves are always at his lotus feet. Dear Malati flower, dear Malika flower, dear jasmine flower, all of you must have been touched by Krishna while he was passing this way after giving us transcendental enjoyment. Have you seen Madhava passing this way? O mango trees, O trees of jackfruit, O pear trees and asana trees, O blackberries and bale trees and trees of the kadamba. Sheetal, Prabhu, could I ask you, could you look at the Bhagavad Gita schedule just outside the door? Just the Bhagavad Gita class schedule. Just see if, maybe there we go. That's okay. Yeah, he's arrived. Haribol, Prabhu. Okay, so now we'll have Bhagavad Gita class, and tomorrow we'll get to read a little bit more of this, but we have a special festival tomorrow. It is Sri Srivas Thakur's appearance day. Srivas Thakur is one of the members of the Panchatattva. Yes, you'll see in the picture just above me, on the very right-hand side. And he was an intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself. And he represents the marginal energy of the Lord. Each of us belongs to the marginal energy of Krishna, Tatastha Shakti, as jivas, tiny spirit souls. So Srivas Thakur is the leader of all of us. And he is also an incarnation of Sri Narada Muni, the great transcendental, traveling devotee of Krishna. So tomorrow we will celebrate Srivas Thakur's appearance. His Grace Kripa Moya Prabhu will be giving class from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And then we'll be doing a little bit of a dramatic something or other with Jai Krishna Prabhu between 6:30 and 7. And so before 5:30, from about 4:30 to 5:30, I will attempt to do a little kirtan and read something. That's tomorrow's schedule. So now we have Bhagavad Gita class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. A very warm welcome to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. This is something which we do, this is something what we do every day. We try to do at least. And so what we'll be doing, we'll be singing a song called Jai Radha Madhava. This is what Srila Prabhupada used to sing before every class. So we'll be having some kirtan and we'll do it in call and response fashion. Call and response fashion means I'll do the calling. At that time you can stay silent and listen. And then you can do the responding. Then you can do the singing. And I'll stay silent and listen to you. So like this. This is a teamwork. So let's do this. And then we'll get into the discussion of this particular shloka of Bhagavad Gita. We are discussing something from 5th chapter. All right. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaran Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. All right. So today we are discussing from the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, the verse is there. This chapter is entitled Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So the verse today is text 20. You can try to repeat after me. How many of you are Sanskrit scholars over here? Nobody, right? So don't you worry. I'm also not a Sanskrit scholar. When I was in school, we were offered a third language. In India, this is what happens. When you are in grade 6, they ask you, you want to study Sanskrit, French or German? So when I was asked, so in India, most of students, they take Sanskrit because parents are like, if you take Sanskrit, then we can teach you. No need of tuition classes, right? So free tuition at home. So everyone takes Sanskrit, but my parents were like, we are modern parents. We don't want to make a Pandit out of you. We want to send you to Europe. Take French. Hardly did I know that I'll be doing the job of a Pandit over here, you know. So I'm also not a Sanskrit scholar. So you can, if you are struggling, don't you worry. I'm also struggling. So let's try to recite this one line at a time. Na prahrishyet priyam prapya. Na prahrishyet priyam prapya. No dvijet prapya cha priyam. No dvijet prapya cha priyam. Sthira buddhir asammudha. Sthira buddhir asammudha. Brahmavid brahmani sthitah. Brahmavid brahmani sthitah. Na prahrishyet priyam prapya. No dvijet prapya cha priyam. Sthira buddhira sammudha. Brahmavid brahmani sthitah. Anyone would like to try? Na prahrishyet priyam prapya. No dvijet prapya cha priyam. Sthira buddhira sammudha. Brahmavid brahmani sthitah. Anyone else? Alright, no worries. We'll go to the translation. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the signs of God, is already situated in transcendence. So this is what Krishna has spoken. Now we'll go through the purport, which is the commentary by Srila Prabhupada on this verse. The symptoms of self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self. He knows perfectly well that he is not this body, but is a fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is therefore not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing anything which is related to his body. This steadiness of mind is called sthira buddhi or self-intelligence. He is therefore never bewildered by mistaking the gross body for the soul, nor does he accept the body as permanent and disregard the existence of the soul. This knowledge elevates him to the station of knowing the complete science of the absolute truth, namely Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. He thus knows his constitutional position perfectly well without falsely trying to become one with the Supreme in all respects. This is called Brahman realization or self-realization. Such steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. So we'll recite some prayers before we begin the discussion. If you know these prayers, you can join in. Otherwise, you can simply meditate. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Hare Krishna. So very warm welcome to you all once again to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. This is a very wonderful verse because here Krishna is talking about those people who are on the stage of liberation. So Krishna is telling how will such a person act. Through actions we can determine the mindset of a person, the consciousness, the state of consciousness of a person. So Krishna is saying that such a person who is liberated, who is above the material consciousness, he does not rejoice upon achieving something pleasant. Basically, when he achieves something really nice, which is applauded by people in general, he does not become very joyful, very happy. He remains steady. He is in a sane state of mind. He behaves in an equipoised way. And if something unpleasant comes, at that time also, that person does not become agitated. That person doesn't become dejected. So these two situations mean that such a person is not driven by the feelings of happiness and distress. Such a person is not driven by feelings. Why? Why is such a person not driven by feelings? Because the driving force of his life is not his feelings. His driving force is his purpose. He is driven by his duties. He is driven by what he is supposed to do. He is driven by a goal, not driven by feelings. And I'm not saying that this is what actually Krishna says in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says that there are two types of people. One category is of those who are driven by a goal. Krishna says, Vyavasayatmika buddhi rekeha gurunandana bahushakhayanantasya buddhayo avyavasayinam. Vyavasayi Atmika. Some people, they are committed to a purpose. Interestingly, Krishna uses the term Vyavasayi to address this category of people. What does the term Vyavasayi mean? Anyone? Sorry? A businessman. So, now the question comes, if Vyavasayi refers to businessman, why is Krishna using the term businessman to address those who are driven by a purpose? Why? Because a businessman, anyone businessman here? Anyone? Okay. So my father is a businessman, so he was telling that what Krishna has talked about over here is on point, A businessman is always committed to one thing, and that is profit. He does not care what weather is there outside. He does not care which government is there in power. His only concern is, how can I make more profit? How can I earn more money? He does not care who is coming, who is going. His only concern is with money. Even if the businessman is on a vacation, on his way to the vacation destination or on his way back, if he can make more networks, he'll do that. Why? Because more networks means more money, right? More networks means more profit. and that more profit will bring more money. So Krishna is saying, Ekeha Kurunandana, single point attention. I was in Delhi Delhi is my hometown, so I was there last year in September. So our family went on a vacation to Vrindavan. So vacation means it's a holiday. But even during those holidays, my father, he did not turn off his mobile phone. Why? Because you never know when there will be a good deal. So he didn't want to miss out on that. So that's the mindset of those who are driven by purpose, always conscious of their goal. The second category is of those whom Krishna is addressing as avyavasayi, means those who are not committed to a goal, those who are not driven by a purpose. Now you may ask that if they are not driven by a purpose, then what are they driven by? They must be having some driving force in life, right? If somebody is existing, if somebody is breathing, if somebody is living in this world, then they must be driven by something. So what's their driving force? Krishna is saying, the driving force of these second type of people is their mind. They are driven by feelings. They are driven by their emotions. They are not committed to a purpose, and therefore they are always distracted. It is said, those who are not committed to anything are distracted by everything. Right? And if you go on to ask them, hey, bhai, why is this the case? Why are you not committed to a goal? Why are you not committed to a purpose? So they will say that if we do so, if we become committed to a goal, then we'll become bound. We'll become entangled, and I don't want to be bound. I want to have a great time. I want to eat, drink and be merry. And is it true? Yes, to some extent it is true. Those who are driven by feelings, they may have a great time. But those who are driven by purpose, they have a great life. Those who are driven by feelings, they may know how to look cool. But those who are driven by purpose, they know how to be cool. Those who are driven by feelings, they chase fleeting pleasures. But those driven by purpose, they build lasting legacies. Those who are driven by purpose, their source of nourishment is external praise. Those who are driven by purpose, their source of nourishment is their own inner blaze. They are not bothered by external praise. They are not bothered by external validation. It is said that if external validation is the only source of our nourishment, then be prepared to stay hungry for the rest of your life. Right? So those who are driven by purpose, they are not bothered by what people are thinking about us. I don't know about the culture here in UK, but back in India, in my university, what used to happen? There were some students who were backbenchers, who used to always sit at the back, but some who were front benchers. They used to always take the front seat. So these backbenchers, they used to make fun of the front benchers. Hey, you are a nerd, you are a geek. In Hindi they call gissu, maggu, something like that, That, why are you sitting there? You look so uncool. Come here. That's how you look cool. Sitting in the front, that's so unimpressive. But guess what? When it was time for exams, during the examination time, it is these same nerds, it is these same geeks who used to have a relaxed time. They used to sleep for 8 hours, 10 hours because they have worked hard during the semester, during the term. And the backbenchers, they used to somehow manage with 2 hours of sleep, finding solutions, finding answers, finding tutorials, drinking energy drinks. Why? Because the purpose was to look cool and not to be cool. Right? When the front benchers were busy studying on the front bench, the back benchers were busy with WhatsApp, with Instagram, with Facebook, etc. Nothing wrong with Instagram, nothing wrong with Facebook, nothing wrong with WhatsApp. We are not against having fun. Bhagavad Gita is not against having fun. Don't get us wrong. Bhagavad Gita is against those who are trying to have fun all the time. Right? So those who are driven by feelings, they are trying to have fun all the time. It is said that if you try to have fun all the time, then very soon your life will become very funny. If we try to have fun all the time, then soon our life will become a comedy we never asked for. So those who are driven by feelings, they fall under this mindset, this category. They are easily carried away by the ups and downs of life. They forget that ups and downs are not life. Ups and downs are a part of life. They're just a part of my life. After 2007 Cricket World Cup, how many of you into cricket? At least, if you don't play cricket, you at least watch or have some knowledge about cricket. Okay, nobody. Okay, then it makes sense for me to give this example. After 2007 Cricket World Cup, Adam Gilchrist, he was interviewed. The interview asked, Mr. Gilchrist, do you have any plans for retirement? Are you planning to retire from the cricketing world? And for your information, 2007 Cricket World Cup was won by Australia, and Adam Gilchrist was an Australian batsman. So this question was asked because that's what everyone does. Everyone tries to end their career on a high note. Everyone tries to announce their retirement after winning some World Cup, some Champions Trophy, some league, some tournament. Why? Because if they do so, throughout their lives, they'll be known as someone who has done something amazing for their country, for their nation. Right? Simple example, 2024 T20 World Cup was won by India. And on the day of the finale, on the final day, 3 Indian legends announced their retirement from T20 cricket. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and Ravindra Jadeja. All 3 of them. They didn't even wait for the next day. On the final, as soon as they won the World Cup, right after the presentation ceremony, we are retiring. Why? Because that's what everyone does. Everyone tries to end their career on a high note. So when this question was asked from Gilchrist, everyone expected a yes. But Gilchrist gave a response which was totally unexpected. He said, Adam Gilchrist doesn't make a decision when it's too high or too low. Adam Gilchrist doesn't make a decision when things are too favorable or too unfavorable. Why? Because he knows that success or failure is not my career. Success or failure is a part of my career. So when things are too good or when things are too bad, it's very easy to be carried away by emotions, right? So let the things become a bit neutral, a bit normal. Let the things calm down, and then I'll make important decisions of my life. It is said we should never make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings, right? So if we are being overwhelmed by some external circumstances a lot, take some time, take a break, So that's one thing. And we are talking about having purpose and not being driven by it. So if somebody is having a purpose and is not being driven by it, that is bad, right? That is not so nice a thing. But what is worse is to not have a purpose only altogether in life. To not have a purpose in life is like sitting in a train and asking the question, where can I find food? Now you people must be like, this Ananta has gone crazy. What's wrong with this question? If I am sitting in a train and I am hungry, it makes sense, no? To ask, where can I find food? It's an important question, right? Yes, it's an important question. Where can I find food is an important question. But a more important question is, where is the train going? Right? That is more important. Where can I find food is also important. But there are more important questions. So similarly, if we are having a purpose and not being driven by it, that is bad. But what is worse is to not have a purpose in life. It is said that if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a goal in mind, then just get down on the street and take any path. You will reach there. Means what? If you don't have a fixed destination in mind, just get down, come out of your house, take any street, you will reach there. Why? Because anyhow, in the first place, we never had a fixed goal in mind where to go. Right? So, the Vedic scriptures, they talk about what possible goals we can have in our life. And the highest goal, that is also found in the pages of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Like in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni very wonderfully describes. He says, Tasyaiva heto prayate tako vido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyadaha tallabhyate dukkavad anyata sukham kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. He's saying, Tasyaiva heto prayate tako vido. COVID. What does COVID mean? Not COVID-19. COVID is a Sanskrit term which means intelligent. So Narad Muni is trying to say that those of us who are intelligent, or those of us who think we are intelligent, or those of us who want to be intelligent, what we should do? We should not aspire for those things which are easily obtainable anywhere between the highest planet in this world down to the lowest planet. The highest planet in this world is Brahma Loka, the place where Lord Brahma resides. The lowest planet in this creation is Patal Loka, the place where sinful people go. So Narad Muni is saying, ladies and gentlemen, please don't aspire for those things which are easily obtainable anywhere between the highest planet and down to the lowest planet. Okay? Then what should be our aspiration? So as per Narad Muni, our aspiration, our goal of life should be to get out of this world altogether, to escape this world. Now somebody might ask, okay, so you are asking us to put endeavors to get out of this world. Till now, all the endeavors of my life were directed towards sense gratification. Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gauratai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Somebody might say that till now all of my endeavors, all of my efforts were directed towards accumulating more and more material happiness. All of my endeavors were directed towards increasing my bank balance, maintaining my family, my husband or wife, my kids. My endeavors were towards increasing the size of my house, increasing the size of my car. But now you are telling that I should change the direction of my endeavor towards getting out of this material world. I can do that. But what will happen to that material happiness? Who will take care of that? How will I get that material happiness which I was getting earlier? So Narad Muni is saying that don't you worry about that. Why? Because it will come to you automatically. Automatically. How? How will material happiness come to us automatically? Just like material distress or material misery or material suffering. It comes to us automatically, on its own, without us inviting us. How many of us came to Radha Gokulananda today and said, "Oh my Lord, oh Shri Shri Radha Krishna, since past few days everything is going so wonderfully. Today when I go back to my house from the temple, please let my car have an accident. Please let a random guy on the street slap me in the face. Please let a pickpocketer pick my pocket. When I reach my house, please let my spouse have a fight with me. How many of us pray like this? How many of us pray, my health has been really good since past few months. Please break my hand. Please give me a fracture. How many of us pray? No, none of us pray like this, right? But do these things happen? Yes, they do happen. These things come to us without us asking for them. These things come to us without us inviting them. These things come to us without us endeavoring for them. So because these things, material distress comes to us automatically, similarly, material happiness will also come automatically. When the right time is there, as per our destiny, as per our past karma. So what we should do, any intelligent person should put an endeavor towards getting out of this world, because that's the purpose of this world. The point of this world is to point beyond this world, right? Any intelligent person will not put in endeavor for those things which are automatically supposed to happen. If somebody is putting in endeavor to accumulate more and more material happiness, it is like me telling you all that my goal for today is somehow make this clock strike 10 p.m. If I tell you, you'll be like, what kind of a goal is this? Ananta, are you okay? This will automatically happen. When the right time is there, in next 3.5 hours, the clock will automatically strike 10 p.m. You don't need to sit and wait for that to happen. In those 3.5 hours, you can do many more constructive things, many more productive things, many more useful things, right? So, similarly, we people, instead of putting in endeavor for accumulating more and more material happiness, we can put in some endeavor towards enhancing our life in a way that bringing our life to the point that we don't have to take birth in this world again. Nothing wrong with increasing the standard of our living. Nothing wrong with that. But along with increasing the standard of our living, we should also try to increase the standard of our life. We have been living a material life till now, so we should increase the standard of our life. From material life, we should try to come to a spiritual life, to the platform of spiritual life. It is said that the standard of our living doesn't define us as much as the standard of our longing does. It is the standard of our longing that actually defines us. What are we aspiring for? What are we shooting for? What's the goal of our life? That is what actually defines us. Standard of living is more or less based on karma, based on destiny. But standard of longing, that is within our hands. What we practice, what do we cultivate. So yes, and this is what this human form of life is meant for. We have got this human form of life for a higher purpose. So therefore, it should be used for that purpose. If after getting this human form of life, we are using it for lower purposes, then it is stupidity, it is foolishness, right? If I'm using this human body for those things which animals do, then it is like me telling you all that I want to use this laptop as a door stopper. Good idea, bad idea? Bad idea. Why, Prabhuji? This is made up of steel. It's good quality. Don't you doubt its quality, please? Still a bad idea, right? Why? Because if I need to use something as a door stopper, go to the market, buy a wooden door stopper worth 2 pounds and use that. No. This can be used for many more higher purposes, right? For lot higher things. So similarly, this human form of body, this is not meant to be used for eating, sleeping, mating and defending. No. Ahara, nidra, bhayamethunam cha samanyametat. Mahabharata is saying that these 4 things, ahar, nidra, bhaya and maithun, these 4 things even animals do. Ahar, first thing is eating. We might be eating in a luxurious restaurant and an animal might be eating something raw from the streets. But the purpose of eating, that is to provide nourishment, to provide freedom from hunger, that is the same. The purpose is the same. Similarly, second, nidra. Nidra means sleep. We might be sleeping in our soft, comfy beds, and an animal might be sleeping on the road. But the purpose of sleeping, that is to give us relief from fatigue, that remains the same. Similarly, bhaya means defending. We might be having high-tech weapons for our protection. We might be having some security systems in our house to prevent ourselves from enemies, from thieves, rogues. And an animal might be using the natural instinct, its jaws, claws, etc. But the purpose of defending, that remains the same. And similarly, fourth thing, maithun means mating or sex life. We might be having sex within our closed private compartments, and an animal might be doing it publicly. But the purpose of sex life, that is to produce progeny and to have sex pleasure, that remains the same. So this human form of life, if we also end up using this body, human body, for those same four lower purposes, then Krishna, what he'll do in next life, he'll give us an animal body. Because that's all what you did in your previous life. I gave you a higher opportunity, but you wasted it for the same four lower things. So therefore, this human form of life should be used very responsibly. Bhagavatam says, Kamasya nendriya pritir labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jigyasa nartho yascha iha karamabhi. Kamasya na indriya priti. Kam means desire. Kam should not be employed in indriya priti. Indriya priti means sense enjoyment. Whatever we do, in general, whatever people do, that is for sense enjoyment. People go to watch a movie. Why? For pleasure of their eyes. People eat something nice for the pleasure of their tongue. So everything is done for sense enjoyment, or as Srila Prabhupada writes, sense gratification. So we are trying to gratify our senses, we are trying to satisfy our senses through all of our endeavors. That's our desire. How can I satisfy my senses in different ways, in new ways, in better ways? But Bhagavatam is saying, no, don't you do that. Kamasya na indriya priti. Now, any intelligent person, he might ask, he might put forward a counter question that, okay, so you are saying that I should not engage in sense gratification. I like to eat. I am very fond of eating. But as per Bhagavatam, I should not do that. So then I'll die, no? Is that the message of Srimad Bhagavatam? That I should die? Is that the message? No. Second line says that you don't need to stop it altogether. What you need to do is, labho jiveta yavata. Engage in sense gratification only to the degree that is absolutely required. Only to the point of keeping your body and soul together. Only to the extent which is necessary to keep you alive. So you might say that how much endeavor goes in that? That can be done in very small amount of time. To accumulate wealth that is required to keep my body and soul together, does not take a lot of time, right? So if you are saying that I should work only to keep my body and soul together, then I'll have a lot of spare time, a lot of extra time. Then what do I do with that extra time? So third line says, Jivasya tattva jigyasa means inquire into the absolute. Do some tattva jigyasa. Ask questions, ask spiritual questions. Who am I? Who is God? And what is my relationship with Him? Make these inquiries. And fourth line says, Nartho yascha iha karamabhi. Means if you have any other purpose in life, then your life will become comfortably miserable. I'm not saying this. This is what Bhagavatam is saying. So, yes. So this is what we should do. We should try to make plans. We should try to put in endeavors that will help us escape this material world. And we should not become fearful. Sometimes we people think that nobody in the outside world is doing this. If I do this, then will I be cheated? No. Krishna says in the verse previous to the verse which we are discussing, Neha Bikram Nashayasti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Krishna is saying, Na iha abhikram nasho asti. On this path, there is neither any loss nor any diminution. And guess what? Even a tiny endeavor made in this direction can save you from the greatest fear. The greatest fear is birth, death, old age, and disease. So, yes, that's the sum and substance of this verse. Any comments, questions, criticism, feedback? Any questions 1? Any questions 2? Yes.
I'm still trying to get the wording right on my question, but in context of what's happening in the world today, where everyone wants to be sexually liberated, just pinpointing that part of the lesson, I'm really curious to understand, because obviously in the Gita, as well, it says you should only have sexual relations if you want to procreate. Is that right?
Yeah.
But you know, in my understanding, there's also stories and pastimes of other demigods that do that, but not for procreation. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to understand your take on that.
Yeah, so sex life or sex pleasure is something which is sometimes overrated, even in the devotee community, and sometimes it is underrated too. So there are sections in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam which tell us what should be the right mindset, right approach towards it. So just to summarize, Srila Prabhupada explains that we need to keep 3 things in mind. One is we need to see what is sanctioned or what is permitted in the scriptures. Second is what is sanctified or how do we sanctify it. And third is regulated. Just like food. What is sanctioned? As per the scriptures, vegetarian food has been sanctioned. We should not indulge in animal killing. We should indulge in intake of only vegetarian diet. Now, that vegetarian food, can it be taken directly? No, it should be sanctified by the process of bhoga offering. We should offer that food stuff to Krishna. That way, ordinary food becomes transformed into blessed food or purified food. Now, even after we have transformed ordinary food into prasad, can prasadam be taken in any quantity? No. Better if we regulate it. So third thing, regulated. How much should be the quantity? Quantity should be that much which is necessary to keep the body and soul together. Basically, we should avoid overeating, right? So now let's apply this to sex life. What is sanctioned? As per Shastras, sex with one partner, with one person has been sanctioned. Now that being said, sometimes people ask a question, then why did Draupadi have 5 husbands? Draupadi is a character from Mahabharata, right? And she had 5 husbands. Why did Draupadi marry 5 times? So the answer is no. Draupadi did not marry 5 times. Draupadi married only once. Her marriage happened in an absolutely normal way. Her marriage happened the way it should have happened. She had given her heart only to Arjuna. The remaining 4 husbands were given to her. And she accepted that as a matter of duty. So Draupadi was not at fault. Okay, coming back to the point. One is sanctioned, that sex life or relationship with one person or one partner. Now, that relationship should be sanctified by the process of marriage ceremony. Right? In Sanskrit, we call it Vivaha Sanskar. There are 10 ceremonies or 10 sanskaras which are supposed to be there in a person's life. The first sanskar is Garbhadan Sanskar, the ceremony of injection of the seed from the male into the female. That is the first sanskar, and the last is Antim Sanskar, the final rites. So there are total 10 sanskaras. So Vivaha Sanskar is what, marriage ceremony is what purifies that relationship. Now within that relationship, can we have unrestricted sex? No, better if you regulate it, right? Best is if we can regulate it to the degree of only for procreation, only for producing children. But if we cannot restrict it to that degree, then we should try to keep it to a minimum. Why? Because not only spiritually, even health-wise also, there are so many side effects, of engaging in unrestricted sex. One is that it leads to restlessness. Second is loss of semen and all. This leads to reduction in memory. So our memory is very much linked to the semen and the similar fluids in our body. Like this. It is also said that semen is so powerful that it can produce life. Just imagine, So it's something that has this potency. Why would one want to waste it, right? So we should be retained as much as possible. And I'll not get into details, but yeah, when we have food, it goes through 7 stages, and the last stage is what we call as semen, So that is just like the crux. When you start boiling the milk, what happens? First it will become condensed, then it will become, in Hindi call it rabdi, right? And if you condense it even more, it will become peda. Peda is something like very small in quantity. So if you take 1 liter of milk, you'll not be able to make many pedas out of it. But every peda that comes out, that is like really sweet, something very nectarian, very relishable. So because it has gone through so many stages, so what the final product is something very precious, You would not want to waste it. You would like to utilize it. You would like to serve it to the best people, something like that. So similarly, when we have food, it is said that, okay, I'll not state data over here, but yeah. So basically, what produces life, we have been able to reach that stage, that semen has been formed after food has gone through multiple stages. So it should not be wasted. It should be retained. And it is also said that when somebody has sex, after that, the feeling after that is equivalent to nervous breakdown, something like that. I mean, I don't have the research paper with me, but yeah. So yeah, try to engage in it as less as possible, only when it is absolutely required. So yeah, some thoughts. Any final thoughts? We have 2 minutes left. Comments, questions? Sorry if this discussion was a bit disturbing or heavy, I did not ask this question. Mataji asked this question, so blame her. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. We'll have Aarti in next 2 minutes. Please stay with us. Hare Krishna.
Haribo. Hare Krishna, everybody. Yeah, just before Arti, I want to remind you all that we like to keep a reasonable corridor up the center of the temple room. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the parting of the Red Sea, but we just want a narrow corridor because our spiritual master is sitting at the back of the temple room, and his vision of the deities and the deities' vision of him should not be blocked. So say it to anybody not to stand right in front of Srila Prabhupada with their back facing him.
श्री श्री राधा गोकुल नंद की, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, गौरा निताय की। की बजयो जयो गौरा चांद रे, आरती को शोभा। की बजयो जयो गौरा चांद रे, आरती को शोभा। ज्ञानावितातावाने जग मन लोभा। ज्ञानावितातावाने जग मन लोभा। दाखीन निताय चांद, पामे गदाधारा। दाखीन निताय चांद, पामे गदाधारा। काते अद्वैताशिनी वासा चत्रधारा। काते अद्वैताशिनी वासा चत्रधारा। पोथीयते गौरा चांद, रत्न सिंहासने। पोथीयते गौरा चांद, रत्न सिंहासने। आरती कोरे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने आरती कोरे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने हरारी आदि कोरी कमर दुलाया नारारी आदि कोरी कमर दुलाया संजया मुकुंदा बासु घोषदिगाया संजया मुकुंदा बासु घोषदिगाया शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाला माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाला शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujvala Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujvala Mala dese bana mala Kore jal mala Mala dese bana mala Kore jal mala Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gora Rasampada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gora Rasampada Jayo Jayo Gora Chandere Arati Ko Sobha Jana Vitata Vane Jag Manalobha Gaurange Arati Ko Sobha Jag Jana Manalobha Gaurange Arati Ko Sobha Jag Jana Manalobha Jaga Jana Manalobha Jaga Jana Manalobha Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Oh Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Prasaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadishatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री राधा गोकुल नंद की सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की गौर प्रेमानंदे Can I please request everyone to bow down for our Prema Dhani prayers? Thank you.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansha Ashtutara Shatasri Srimad Abhay Charanaru Bindu Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansha Ashtutara Shatasri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Brinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय जमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So now we will have Narasingha prayer. So as you are nicely seated, please sing along with us if you can.
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad
केशवद्रेता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवदेता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री नरसिम्हदेव की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल So Hare Krishna. So we will have Kirtan from now till 9:30, all the way till 9:30. So if you wish to stay, you are more than welcome. Where is everybody? Where is the there she is. Hare Krishna. Come, sit. Come sit. It's your turn. Always.
Should I switch off the light? Can I switch off the light? Oh,
Yeah. Switch off the light. You play miranda? Gosh. So you play miranda?
I started.
no, not so much. She just arrived
Oh, she just arrived.
for the leather course.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone and everyone. Yeah.
Can you play the fast beat? Yeah. Take your time.
Okay. Right. Sit down. Darshan.